you are already manifesting. So whatever your current reality, whatever is going on in your life right now, whatever is happening for you or not happening for you, you are already manifesting. Our subconscious mind, which is where our manifestations come from, doesn't have this on or off switch. It doesn't necessarily come and go. So you are always manifesting, which is why you definitely need to be conscious of the ability to manifest, because if you aren't, you just kind of like out here flailing and kind of willy-nilly about your manifestations as opposed to you being intentional about your manifestation. Now, what is that actually? Like when we even talk about manifestation, what does that really even mean? It really means that we have a particular thought that comes into our experience. And really, it's supposed to be what it is that we desire to have within our experience. And so we have a bunch of thoughts that's going through our mind each day. But the question is, are those thoughts in alignment with what you desire to see in your future reality? See, the way that it works is that we are here on this 3D physical plane. If you understand what 3D means, that means physical. Things that we could taste, touch, we can smell, we can feel, which is the same as touch, and things that we can see and we can hear. But before it happens in our physical reality, it starts to happen in what we call the 5D. And the 5D is in the mind, the 5D is mental. So whatever is happening here in the mental creates feelings and emotions. And those feelings and those emotions, they are a frequency, and those frequencies are then put out here into the world. And so whatever we put out here in the world is what we get back. So it's important that we understand that we are manifesting, no matter if we are conscious of it or not. Again, it's better to be conscious of your ability to manifest than to not be conscious of it, because when you are unconscious of it, you are not even being remotely intentional about what it is that you say that you desire to see in your reality. So one of the things for me, I would say personally, is I grew up in like a pessimistic household, right? And so like everything was just kind of blah. One person was having a bad day, everybody had a bad day. So I kind of grew up with this more kind of pessimistic look on life, to where I would panic if things was going wrong, or I would like throw a fit. I'm like, why is not everything working out? But it was because I had already adopted this pessimistic mindset that things were not going to work out. And so if you believe or think in your mind that things are not going to work out, then on an emotional level, you are already emitting a frequency that says that it's not going to work out. So what does that look like? That looks like not having a lot of confidence about whatever it is that you are trying to align yourself with. It looks like not having persistence, because if something doesn't work out, persistence, which is a spiritual practice, says to you, well, you need to keep going, because it's not that it's not working out. It's just that you need to get better at what it is that you are doing. Like Jim Rohn, who is like a motivational speaker, he has since passed, but one of the things that he used to say is, don't ask how can it be better. You should ask, how can I be better, right? Because the it is going to always be there. So it's on you to evolve in order for you to align with the thing that you say that you desire. And so it is very actual and factual that the life that you have right now is a result of past thoughts and past thinking patterns. So if you desire to have a different reality in the future, either in the immediate future or further in the future, then you have to start making the changes today around your thinking and your thought patterns, so that it matches and aligns with what it is that you desire to see in the future. And so I think that we sometimes get confused, of course, about really how does that work. And again, our thoughts control our emotions. Our emotions are what I say electrical motion, right? Emotion stands for electrical motion, because let's say if you, that's why like when people say, oh, I got out of the bed on the wrong, I got, what do they say? I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. So if you like wake up on the wrong side of the bed, that's why like you would continuously not have a good day, because you are emitting the frequency of already not having a good day. So there would just be more experiences that you attract into your reality that cause you to not have a good day. So you do have to pivot when you get these thoughts that are not in alignment with your future self. Then it is your responsibility to pivot those thoughts. You have to kind of stop for a second and be like, okay, girl, okay, dude, you tripping, get it together, take a minute. Whatever it is you need to do. If that means you need to pray, if that means you need to meditate, you need to journal, you need to listen to some music, whatever it is that you need to do to shift your mood, shift your energy, shift your thinking so that you can get back in alignment with the thing or the future that you see for yourself. One of my favorite transformational leaders is Abraham Hicks, and she talks about how you have to care about how you feel. And it's true, because once you care about how you feel, then you won't allow anything or anyone to make you feel a type of way, right? Like, you've heard that, people can do or say whatever they want, but the response is up to you. And that's very true. You can choose to allow this thing to affect you in a way that it will take down your happiness or your mood, or you could choose to respond to it and let it just roll off your shoulders like, whatever, that's cool, that's how you feel. Well, I ain't got nothing to do with that, right? So you going about your business. Okay, the second thing you should know about manifesting, this goes back to me talking about vision boards. But vision boards are cool and they are helpful if you are the type of person that's visual, and you're going to use that visual as a persistent goal within your mind. So it's not good enough to just create this vision board and then you tuck it off to the corner and then you don't see it until the next year. If you are a visual person, then yeah, you do need to tack it up on your wall or something like that. And every time you see it, it needs to evoke a certain emotion in you, that emotion, it matches how you will feel when you have obtained that thing that you say. So for example, in my example that I wrote about, I talked about, I've been doing vision boards for like 15 years, right? And I still don't live in the house that's on my vision board, right? And so, a part of this is, do I feel like the type of person that can afford this $3 million house? Like, do I need to be able to match that frequency? How does that feel to own a $3 million house? Like, what does that feeling feel like? So I ask for those things, right, to feel that feeling. And so what the universe does, because that's the emotion that you are emitting and you're asking, which is something I'm going to talk about in a second, then the solution is always delivered to you. So then there will be tiny steps that will come before you that will lead you to the desire that you say that you want. So in that case, in my case, I have been fortunate enough to buy a home, and I bought my house about 10 years ago. But I won't say recently, but more recently, I looked to see my property value, which is like 4 times the amount that I paid for this house. And so that is a part of the stepping stone that I needed to take in order to get to that $3 million house. So there are steps, deliberate steps that the universe or whomever, your higher, whatever you believe, a higher power, puts in front of you gradually, that allows you to build that momentum to propel you to the desire in which you say that you want. And a big part of that is gratitude, which I'm about to get to that too. But there is a lot of personal development that has to happen before you can get to this intentional manifestation stage. So last week, I spoke at this empowerment group, and one of the participants asked me, because the topic was, well, what is community, right? And before we can get to community, there's a you in community. You got to get to you first before you can think about trying to do anything for the community. And so we as a people, generally, we like to help other people because it's a deflection for us doing the personal work on ourselves. But if you do the personal work on yourself, that is the best way that you can help the community, because then you become a demonstration. And that demonstration becomes an inspiration to those people around you. And the only way that people generally will change is if they are inspired to change by something. So if you want to change the community, the best thing that you can do is work on yourself, is to dive deep into personal development so that you can support your own growth. And when people see you growing, then they're like, damn, he glowing up, she glowing up. What they doing? I want to hear what they got to say. And then you use your platform to teach people what you've learned, or again, just continue to be that demonstration. So, and I told the participant this when they asked me, well, why are you not talking about the manifestation stuff? Like how, I wanted to get right to the manifestation stuff. And I explained to them, like, well, before you can get to intentional manifestation, you got to do the personal work on yourself. Because technically, again, as I said in point one, you are already manifesting. We are already manifesting. Whether you're conscious of it or not, you're manifesting. This reality that you have, the house you live in, the car you drive, the job you work, the business that you have, the family you have, or the family you don't have, or the house you don't have, or the car you don't have, or the business you don't have. These are all things that you have manifested in your reality, or you have not manifested in your reality. So, again, it's better to be intentional about manifesting than it is to be unconscious of your ability to manifest. And before you can get to that intentional conscious manifesting, you have to do the personal work on you. So, how do you do the personal work on you? Well, it's the 5 A's. So, I say this: it's awareness, it's admittance, acceptance, accountability, and asking. First, you got to be aware of your thoughts. You have to be aware that you even have the power to change your circumstances around you. If you don't have that awareness, then you are completely oblivious to your own power. So you first need to become aware that your life is all on you, and you have the ability to change yourself in order to match the frequency of the things that you claim that you desire. The second thing is admittance. Admitting. It's like AA, where you have to first admit that you do need to change your lifestyle in order to get to where it is that you want to go. Whatever that is. I mean, we are creatures of habit. It could be any little thing. Do you need to start going to bed earlier so that you can wake up earlier? Do you need to hit the gym and lose some pounds and gain some muscle because you want this summer beach body? Like, whatever it is, you need to admit it, because so many times we are in complete denial of our dysfunction, and we have normalized our dysfunction so much that we don't find it necessary to admit, and we have a hard time holding up a mirror to ourselves. And to be honest, even though I really, really hate this word, I hate this term, I hate this label, but I'm going to say this. Generally, the only people who have a problem with admitting their dysfunction are narcissists. Okay, I said it. I won't say it again. I hate that word. But you need to fess up so that you can move forward with what it is that you desire in your life. The third thing is acceptance. You need to accept that this is where you are in your life and that you want to become better. So the other part of that is, we absolutely a lot of times live in delusion. And I have seen this a lot lately, like, because I watch a lot of YouTube and, different perspectives and stuff like that. And I'd be like, oh my God, like, people are really delusional, right? You have to lose the delusion. You have to accept yourself for where you are right now. Wherever you are right now in your life is okay. Even if it's not where you want to be, this is all about the journey, right? It's not about the destination, because you know what the destination is? The destination is death, dead. You out of here. You feel me? Physical death, out of here. So it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. However, if you can't accept where you are right now, why would you be given responsibility for bigger things, bigger responsibilities in your life if you can't accept where it is that you are right now? Where you are right now is fine. And the gap between where you are and where you want to be really depends on your ability to evolve, your ability to be aware, your ability to admit to where you are in your dysfunction, and for you to accept where you are right now. The fourth thing is accountability. This is a big one because we do not like to take responsibility for ourselves and our lives. We have the tendency to blame. We look outside of ourselves for people to come in and save us, to be our savior. And I'm here to tell you that you are your only savior. You. So when you are blaming other people, you deflect from the lessons that you need to learn and you need under your belt in order for you to grow and evolve as an individual. So you actually lose out by not taking accountability or trying to place blame on somebody else. Don't talk about what your mother did 15 years ago or how your daddy, he wasn't there and he didn't do that. Don't none of that shit matters. It don't even matter. It don't matter. Your life is your responsibility. And that's just what it is. And they are learning and growing or not or whatever, but that still don't have nothing to do with you. This is your responsibility. Blaming other people will not help you grow, will not help you get to where it is that you want to go. And the fifth thing is ask. So I know you've heard of ask, believe, receive, or is the other thing believe, ask, receive, something like that. But you have to ask for guidance and assistance. And sometimes you can ask for guidance physically, like asking an actual person, or if you are an entrepreneur, you're in business, you need to ask for a loan or something like that. And then also you can ask your source, ask your inner being, ask your higher power, because your creative genius, which lives in your subconscious, will kick on. The creative genius is there to solve problems, to give you solutions. So you just ask out loud to yourself, your subconscious will deliver a solution to you, but you have to ask. You have to verbally say it out loud to say, man, I really need to know how to solve this. Or there's one that by Florence Scovel Shinn, where she says to say each night before you go to bed, say in the morning, I'll know what to do, right? That's affirming that your subconscious already has the answer to whatever your question is or whatever your problem is. So affirm that. Right before you go to bed, say in the morning, I'll know what to do. If you don't do that, then just ask. Say, God, I need help with this. Be specific on your request as well too, because you don't want to get something kind of sort of close to what it is that you need to answer for. So be very specific about what it is that you're asking for, but be open. So the third thing you should know about manifesting is you must change in order to receive. So we kind of talked about this a bit before, but this is probably the hardest thing to accept, because we want the things that we want without putting in the work to get to that place. And when I say put in the work to get to that place, that means us evolving ourselves, changing ourselves in order to reach the heights that which we desire. We want this thing. We can see this dream that we want to have, that we want within our reality, but we don't be willing to change to get it. We want to keep doing the same things that we've been doing that has not been getting us to the place that we want to go to. Hey, Auntie. So we keep doing the same things that we say that we want to reach a certain height or certain level within our careers or within our lives, but we don't be willing to make the changes to get there. And so you have to do that. Like, what is it that you can do differently, little by little? You don't have to do everything at once. I had did this 8-week challenge workout thing, and it was cool or whatever, but I did it, but I didn't lose as much weight as I wanted to. But then I was like, okay, I'm about to start back, but I'm about to do it on my own. I was about to pay this other company and do that. And I was like, you know what? No, I need to go at my own pace. So instead of me just jumping right into going back to the gym and working out 4 to 5 times a week, I just said, listen, I'm about to just take it slow this time. I'm about to just change, my eating habits, making sure that I'm eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that I'm getting 3 meals a day, that I'm eating these certain things, just really small steps until I can work my way back up to being in the gym, 3 to 5 times a week or whatever. So my point is, you don't have to do everything at once. Don't try to do it all and then you end up just doing away with everything. So just a little bit. So if it's a business that you looking to start, like, don't try to do it all in one day. Don't try to get the logo and the website and hire a marketing person and do all these things in one day. Like, you have to give yourself some space for trial and error. You have to give yourself some space to learn and grow. You have to give yourself grace. So you just have to do a little bit at a little bit, because you want to be successful at it. And if you try to do everything at one time, you're gonna get burnt out, and then you just gonna say forget all of it, right? So don't try to rush. One of the things that I changed too in my routine is I try to be in bed by 10 o'clock at night, because I don't like waking up and being all groggy and feeling like I need to take a nap in the middle of the day. Like naps is cool, but like I don't want to do that. Like I want to be more productive. So I had to change. So after I drop my son off at school in the morning, I always go to the lake and I sit there for about 30 minutes and I pray and I meditate and I might write some stuff down, and I'll just look for signs or, some inspiration that will get me started through my day, that will help me throughout my day. And one of the things that's perhaps the most important is gratitude. Being grateful for where you are already in your life, showing appreciation for where you currently are. And by showing that appreciation for where you currently are, that allows spirit to bring more of the things that you appreciate and you're grateful for in your life, right? So if you like walking around like, I hate where I'm at right now and I ain't doing it, that energy, again, your emotions emit a frequency out. And so if you are kind of complaining about where you are, then then the universe just sends you more where you are currently at and not really responding to the things that you put on your vision board because you're walking around kind of grumpy. Now, one of the things too that I feel is failed to say, especially on social media with social media influencers when they talking about manifestation. And again, they make it seem like, ooh, alakazam, ooh, I manifested this house, I manifested this car, I manifested this man. But nobody talks about how there will be challenges. You know how hard it is to change? It is hard to change. It is hard to be committed. It is hard to be dedicated to, a life or a lifestyle or a way of thinking that will get you to the place that you want to be. So what you will have to remember is that you really want this thing. This is where persistence plays in. And persistence, again, is a spiritual practice, because persistence says that no matter what, I'm going to reach this goal. I'm going to climb this mountain. I'm going to get over this. And so there are going to be times when you're not going to feel like it. It's going to be times where you want to give up. It's going to be times where you be like, you know what? I got myself into a bigger pickle than I anticipated. And I'm just washing my hands clean of it. There are going to be times when you just don't want to do it anymore, right? But you have to have persistence. Since evolution and change is not an easy thing, you have to in some way be a little prepared for that. You got to wear out doubt, because doubt will creep up and say like, what you think you're doing? You can't do this. Who you think you is, moving into this direction, leaving this job and going over here and trying to do that. But you got persistence is wearing out those thoughts that don't serve you. You got to be more persistent than those thoughts that's telling you that you can't do it, or those people that's telling you that you can't do it. You have to believe it more than you can believe what anybody else can think or say about you. So I wanted to say that because those experiences, those challenges, those are designed to evolve you into the person that matches the frequency of your desire. So you need those challenges. It's like anything, but you have to grow in such a way that that's how you will be able to reach your desire. So, I'm right at the 30-minute mark. I only wanted to spend 30 minutes. Yeah. So, yes, those are the 3 things that you should know about manifesting, because while it is a beautiful journey to watch unfold for yourself, there's going to be challenges. There's going to be times you want to give up, but you have to stick with it. You have to be persistent. And that's why that daily routine is important, because when on those days that you really do feel like giving up, you might have to go pray. You might have to go meditate. You might have to go to yoga. You might have to journal. You might have to do something to get your mind back to a place of peace and in alignment with the path or the life that you say that you want. So That's all I got for y'all. Till next time, thanks for joining my 3 things you should know about manifesting. Peace. All right, ain't nobody even join me today, but it's cool because I got a little late start. um, but yeah, 3 things you should know about